Happy Monday, everyone. King 5 meteorologist Adam Claibon here with you on a beautiful, gorgeous day, really. It's been comfortable, kind of chilly here early into the morning. We're going to talk about some of those morning lows and how those cooler overnights are going to be around, but then the afternoons are going to be rather warm, kind of too warm for a few of us as we got more 80s. That will be returning. We got a couple of other things too. We have low tides that are going to be happening, and if you notice the vibrant, beautiful sunset Sunday evening, well, guess what? We're going to have another one of those here Monday evening into Monday night, and possibly for the next couple of nights, as there is a limited amount of wildfire smoke in our atmosphere. Most of that, though, is going to be higher up, so limited, if any, sort of impacts will be expected here as far as our air quality is concerned. First, though, let's get into those low tide times. We're going to have 3 more instances here into the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where they are abnormally low. You can see those down to about 3 to 4 feet below where they typically should be. And yeah, it's going to be between about 11 o'clock and noon on most of these days. Actually, afternoon heading into Wednesday and Thursday. So you can see the times corresponding with those low tide times here coming up for the next 3 days. And again, back to what we're going to be noticing as far as the wildfire smoke in the skies and some of those beautiful sunsets that are going to be ahead for us. You can see that with the smoke that we have around some parts here, farther north and to the west, that's where you're going to be keeping an eye out for these nice sunsets that will be ahead for us. So just over more the Olympics, so look off to the northwest if you can. Look for those beautiful sunsets at that point. And then as we continue on throughout the week, yeah, you'll see that there's a little more of that smoke haze that shows up in our skies, but very, very light here across the region. So should not be an issue when it comes to any sort of air quality or things of that nature. So typically, yes, we do have sunsets farther to our north during this time of the year, so it gives us a beautiful shot of some of that right there. And you can see that the air quality for many of us here across the area looking pretty good. So thankfully, again, not worrying about any sort of heavy or dense smoke to create any issues for those of us who have respiratory problems. And as far as what's happening higher up into the atmosphere, we are sort of generating some of this wildfire smoke in their area, not because of some of the smoke that we have down this way across parts of the lower 48, but we're actually pulling from farther north. That area of low pressure helping to guide some of that around into our area, and so that's why you see it over the Pacific Ocean. And that area of low pressure, well, it's slowly but surely going to move around. The lighter oranges is what is really pointing that out for us, and it moves closer to the area as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. And by more Thursday, it will be closer to more of overhead. And with that being the case, we are going to generate some potential for rain, as well as maybe some storms that could be out there too. And so we'll keep an eye out for that heading into the day on Thursday. Some of those clouds sticking around early into Friday, and then the afternoon bringing more sunshine. But you can see what that means for our temperatures. They will be falling back down into the 70s for highs for those 2 days before bouncing back into more of the low 80s for the upcoming weekend. Here's a live look out that way towards Westport, and you can kind of see there is that haze that's showing up in the sky, not really much of one at all, while seeing the crisp blue skies here from our Port Angeles camera. Looking right here in Tacoma, you can see clear skies for us as we make our way into our Monday evening, and then here in Seattle, sitting at 76. West winds, though, kind of breezy. You'll notice a bit of that wind here, but with that westerly component to the wind, that really is going to limit some of the additional heating that we're going to see here as we head on into the evening. And we'll cool off rather quickly, too, with that cooler air mass still coming in from off of the Pacific. So dropping well into the 50s. Some 40s possible, too, for early tomorrow morning. All right, here's a look at radar. You can see some shower activity off to the north right there, out over parts of the Vancouver Island. Also seeing some shower activity off towards the east across eastern Oregon and into more of Idaho, while this area of monsoonal moisture continues to move its way northward through Nevada and parts of California too. Nice to see some moisture down across some of those parts, but we'll keep an eye out for this system right here and to see exactly how it will play out in terms of directing some of that moisture towards us as we head on into the latter part of the week, as it also brings in its own opportunity and chance for rain for us as we go later on into the week. All right, back to some of the temperatures here, because we're going to see that those numbers are going to be cooler. Now, I wanted to go back and point out how cool they were this morning, because they did drop down rather low. We saw a lot of 40s out there. We saw those numbers drop down into more of the lower 50s and the lower 40s too. Bremerton, Shelton, Olympia, Chehalis, up through Port Townsend and Port Angeles, all in those low 40s. It was rather chilly this morning in a lot of spots. The only spot we really had more the 50s around parts of Puget Sound, from Tacoma all the way up towards Everett. But outside of there, that's where we did see more of the 40s. So not going to be quite as cool heading on into the night, but I wouldn't say we are not going to see any 40s either, because I think we are going to see quite a few of them again for early into the day on Tuesday. All right, let's talk about that, because Futurecast does show how skies will stay clear. And so with those clear skies and this relatively dry air mass in place, we're going to see temperatures drop rather quickly. We'll keep a few more of those clouds out across more the northwestern part of the state, or really more so the northwestern part of the Olympic Peninsula, out that way. As we continue on, as we head on into the evening, we'll see more of the clear skies as we head on into more of the day on Tuesday. And more of the clouds off towards the eastern side of the state, while we keep things nice and sunny all the way into more of the day on, or at least to start off on Wednesday. We'll keep an eye out for a few more of those clouds to begin to arrive as we head on into Wednesday evening and then into the day on Thursday. And as I really expand this out time-wise, you can see some of that moisture beginning to find its way from the south. And yes, there could be some heavier pockets of rain. So it's going to be kind of tough for right now to determine exactly how much rain we're going to get from this, because the nature of what we have with convective opportunities and chances of rain here, which is going to be providing some thunderstorm activity. When we talk about convection, we're talking usually about thunderstorm activity. It's not always going to track in the same exact location, and it can definitely change as far as where exactly it does travel wildly. So looking at that, and when we look at some of the precipitation totals right here, this does go out until very early into Thursday morning. So not really anything popping up quite yet, but again, that moisture will still be making its way up from the south as we head on into that point. But one thing is going to be for certain, we're going to see temperatures drop back down from more the 80s down into the 70s for Thursday and for Friday, before kicking back up into the 80s again through the weekend and into the start of the following work week. And as far as what we see beyond that point, well, still some more lower to mid 80s. So not really seeing the heat getting too out of hand yet, but there's going to be a decent stretch of some 80s ahead for us to go along with some of those upper 70s that we'll have with the chances of rain in the forecast for us by mid to late this work week. All right, overnight temperatures, there are some of the 40s out there. Bremerton, Shelton, Olympia dropping down into the upper 40s. So no low 40s, but getting pretty close and definitely cooler than average for us, with 51 in around Everett and 52 in Bellingham. So cooler than average overnights, and then warmer than average afternoons. We'll get up to 78 there in Blaine, 82 around Mount Vernon, 82 in Lake Stevens, mid-80s around Monroe, over towards Scoopville. We'll top off at 74. Getting a bit more toasty down this way around Issaquah, Renton, Des Moines up to 85. Maple Valley, same number there, 88 in Puyallup, and about 88 degrees in Olympia. And down through the Chehalis Valley, you can definitely tell there's going to be more heat there as we approach the 90-degree mark, but then quite the drastic change as we head out towards more of the coast. 60s only expected there, immediate coastline, that is. As you get off the water, do expect to see some of those high temperatures in the 70s. Squim will be up to 76. Shelton, though, at 87 degrees. And your 7-day forecast, keeping things sunny and very summer-like for a lot of this upcoming stretch. And kind of what we see during the summer, too. Sometimes we can get some monsoonal moisture and some systems to come through to produce some showers and storms, and we'll get that heading on into the day on Thursday as we cool down back into the 70s to go along with that. All right, everyone, so that will be definitely where our focus will be here as we head on into the middle and latter part of the work week. But other than that, just make sure to have the sunglasses with you, use plenty of sunscreen, definitely hydrate as well, and prepare for the sunshine here as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, and make sure to have something warm to cover the arms early into those mornings as well. All right, everyone, take care. Have a magnificent Monday night. We'll talk to you soon.